Christopher Wall suffered a gunshot wound and unfortunately passed away at the hospital. Officer Overton sustained non-life-threatening injuries and is being treated at a local hospital.
We begin with a mass shooting at the Come and Go on Chestnut Expressway and Highway 65 overnight. Breaking this morning, 5 people total were killed overnight, including the shooter. We have team coverage of this tragic event. Elizabeth Van Metre is near the convenience store where this all happened. First, though, we will get to Lexi Spivak, who is live at the Springfield Police Department with the latest from there. Lexi.
Yeah, Sarah, so just a really terrible morning here at the Springfield Police Department where they're still grieving that loss of one of their own, obviously. As you've already mentioned, 5 people in total were killed in this overnight shooting, including that Springfield police officer, 3 others who just happened to be at the gas station at the time of the shooting, and then the suspected shooter, who we know died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Now, we want to listen in to part of the news conference that I was at earlier this morning around 6 o'clock with Chief Paul Williams.
It is way too early. I'll just leave it at that. We're still actively investigating multiple crime scenes and dealing with grieving over the loss of one of our own.
All right, so again, that was Springfield Police Chief Paul Williams, again, just really struggling, him and his entire department. If it's setting in that they have lost one of their own police officers this morning, we do want to go over how this all started, though. We know this started around 11:30 last night when they started getting calls of shots fired around Battlefield and Lone Pine. Then, soon after that, they started getting calls from all across the city, multiple shooting locations, but then things eventually ended at the Come and Go gas station on East Chestnut Expressway, where we were told by Chief Paul Williams that that driver actually crashed into the Come and Go gas station and then went inside and started firing at anyone who was in there. That includes customers and employees. So again, if you are just joining us this morning, we know that 5 people were killed in this overnight shooting, including 1 Springfield police officer, 3 others who were inside that gas station, and then also the suspected shooter. We also know 2 others are in an area hospital this morning, including another Springfield police officer who are being treated for their gunshot wounds. Right now, we want to send it over to Elizabeth Van Metre this morning. She is at that Come and Go gas station where all of this went down.
Yes, thank you, Lexi. I'm on East Chestnut Expressway, west of Highway 65, and you can see that there are still officers behind me working this scene. Throughout the morning, I've told you about half a dozen. Well, there are clearly over a dozen officers that have now made their way to work on this investigation at this Come and Go, where this event happened this morning. Police officers getting that call around 11:30 last night, saying that there was gunfire going off, and they responded to that. It all ending here at this Come and Go. Now, if Chestnut Expressway is part of your morning commute, they're asking that you find an alternate route this morning and throughout the day. I did speak with the police officer just a bit ago who told me that they will not be clearing up this scene anytime soon. This is going to be an all-day event, so this area right here will be closed off for no-through traffic. Reporting from Springfield, Elizabeth Van Metre, back to you.
All right, Elizabeth and Lexi, thank you very much. Here's what we know right now. 5 people died in the mass shooting last night. That includes the officer, Springfield officer Christopher Wall. She died at the hospital after the shootout at the Come and Go. 3 people died at the Come and Go. The gunman also died at that gas station from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Meantime, another officer injured here in this shootout overnight, Officer Josiah Overton from the Springfield Police Department. We're told he's in the hospital with a gunshot wound. 1 citizen also injured in the shootout, wounded by the gunfire at the Come and Go. We understand this is fluid. This could change throughout the day. We understand there are at least 4 different crime scenes, including the crime scene Elizabeth showed you just a moment ago at the Come and Go. Finally, Springfield's mayor and Missouri's governor are both offering condolences, and they are asking you for your prayers for all the families touched by this horrific incident overnight. Now, we're going to have live coverage of this breaking story throughout the day on KY3, on KY3.com, and you can find it also on our news apps.